Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we are going to talk about 24 years after 9/11, remembering the victims and why their stories still matter in 2025. It's been more than 2 decades since the terrorist attacks of September 11th, 2001, which claimed the lives of nearly 3,000 people and left many more injured or grieving. The impact of 9/11 was felt around the world, and the events of that day continue to shape our world today. But what does 9/11 mean to you? How do you remember those who were lost? And how do their stories continue to matter today? In this video, we will explore these questions and more as we remember the victims of 9/11 and the lessons we can learn from their stories. So make sure to watch this video till the end. But before we begin, if you haven't already, please take a moment to subscribe and hit the bell icon to get notified whenever I upload new videos. Now, let's get started. On September 11th, 2001, the United States was shaken by a series of terrorist attacks that would change the course of history forever. At 8:46 a.m., American Airlines Flight 11 crashed into the North Tower of the World Trade Center in New York City. Just 17 minutes later, United Airlines Flight 175 also crashed into the South Tower. The impact of these two planes caused the collapse of both towers, which housed thousands of people in offices. The attacks on the World Trade Center were unprecedented and had never before been seen on such a scale. The loss of life was catastrophic, with nearly 3,000 people losing their lives. But the attacks didn't stop there. At 9:03 a.m., American Airlines Flight 77 crashed into the Pentagon just outside of Washington, D.C., and at 10:03 a.m., United Airlines Flight 93 crashed into a field near Shanksville, Pennsylvania. All 4 planes had been hijacked by members of the terrorist group Al-Qaeda, led by Osama bin Laden. Bin Laden claimed responsibility for the attacks, which he said were in response to U.S. support for Israel and the presence of U.S. troops in Saudi Arabia. The aftermath of 9/11 was profound. The attacks caused the collapse of not only the World Trade Center towers but also the Pentagon. Nearly 3,000 people were killed, including citizens from over 90 countries. The attacks had a profound impact on the world, leading to the start of the War on Terror and increased security measures around the world. It's been 24 years since the horrific attacks of 9/11, and yet the memories of that day still linger. On this somber anniversary, we take a look back at the events of that day and the lasting impact it has had on our world. We also explore the ways in which we have honored the victims and the lessons we have learned in the past 24 years. Join us as we remember those who were lost on 9/11 and reflect on the importance of keeping their stories alive. September 11th, 2001 was a day that started out like any other for most Americans. People went to work, children went to school, and the sun shone brightly in the skies. But within hours, everything would change. At 8:46 a.m., American Airlines Flight 11, en route to Los Angeles from Boston, crashed into the North Tower of the World Trade Center in New York City. The impact was devastating, and the world watched in disbelief as smoke and debris filled the air. Just 17 minutes later, United Airlines Flight 175 slammed into the South Tower of the World Trade Center. The second plane crash confirmed what everyone feared. This was no accident. A terrorist attack was underway. As the dust settled and the shock wore off, the nation and the world began to mourn the loss of life. Nearly 3,000 people had been killed, including citizens from more than 90 countries. The attacks had a profound impact on the global community and would change the course of history forever. In the aftermath of the attacks, the United States launched the War on Terror, which has had far-reaching consequences for the Middle East and the world. The attacks also led to increased security measures at airports and other public places around the world. September 11, 2001, will forever be remembered as a day of tragedy and loss. But it is also a day that reminds us of the strength and resilience of the human spirit. As we remember the victims of 9/11s, we also celebrate the courage of those who helped and healed, and the unity of a nation and the world in the face of adversity. Charlie Kirk, a prominent conservative political activist, commentator, and author, died recently after being involved in a car accident. He was only 25 years old, and his death was a shock to many. Kirk was known for his strong opinions and his unwavering commitment to his beliefs. He was a controversial figure, but he was also respected by many for his intelligence and his passion. His death was a tragic loss, and he will be missed by many. Kirk's death has sparked conversations about the state of politics in America. Many have criticized the vitriol and hostility that have become commonplace in political discourse. They argue that this toxic environment can have real-world consequences, and that it is important to remember the humanity of those with whom we disagree. Kirk's death is a tragic reminder of the cost of political division and the importance of seeking common ground and understanding rather than resorting to anger and resentment. It is important to note that while Kirk may have been a polarizing figure, he was still a person, and his life and death should be respected. The circumstances surrounding his death, a car accident, were also tragic and should be kept in the forefront of our thoughts. As we remember him, it is important to approach the conversation about his death with sensitivity and respect for all involved. Many people have been searching online for information related to 9/11s. This is likely due to the recent anniversary of the event, which took place on September 11, 2001. On that day, almost 3,000 people were killed when two planes crashed into the World Trade Center in New York City. One reason for the surge in search interest is the release of new documentaries and retrospectives surrounding the event in recent months. Several streaming platforms have released new content covering different aspects of the attacks, which may have contributed to the increase in searches. Additionally, many schools teach the events of 9/11 as part of their social studies curriculum, which may explain the high volume of searches coming from younger users. Furthermore, with the passage of time, younger generations who have no memory of the attacks may be turning to the internet to learn more about this significant historical event. Finally, the recent death of Charlie Kirk, a young activist who was vocal about his opposition to the war on terror following 9/11, may have also sparked interest in the event as people look to learn more about his views and legacy. Overall, the combination of these factors has likely contributed to the surge in search interest for 9/11. As we come to the end of this video, we want to hear from you. What do you think? How do you remember 9/11? And why do you think it's important to keep the stories of the victims alive? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and share it with others. And don't forget to subscribe for more insightful mental health videos like this one. Thanks for watching.